Manchester.
So, more on this extraordinary story about the probe that has landed on a comet coming up in a couple of moments' time. First of all, when an offender comes out of prison, they often struggle to get work. Well, Francesca wanted to do something about it. She set up a baking company. She's an ex-offender herself, and she is now the winner of the Best Female Entrepreneur Award. And delighted to say that Francesca joins me this afternoon. Good to speak to you. How are you?
Thank you for having me. No, I'm very well.
Just tell us the story, how you came to become a baker.
Well, I was sent on a baking course by Greater Manchester Probation Service to keep me busy, kind of tap into my skills or anything I fancy getting into whilst I was job hunting and going to drug rehabilitation. So I went on a 2-day course, fell in love with it, and then started my baking from home.
How difficult was that for you to actually change your lifestyle in that way? Because there must have been a point where you thought, okay, is there anything for me? Is there a purpose for me in this life? And then suddenly you discover baking.
Exactly right. It was a happy accident, and I do think disillusionment, can take over when you have a criminal conviction, or just generally if you don't know what path you're on. But baking was the best thing that could have happened to me. It's really changed my life.
Did you find that people treated you differently because you did have that criminal conviction, or did they very much base their opinion on what you're doing now?
I've had a lot more positive feedback than I would negative, and I was very fearful of the stigmatism around having a criminal conviction, but thankfully that's not been an issue. It really is a case of positives over negatives, and I use that as my business mantra and as in my personal life.
And did you face any barriers as you were going along?
I have to say I've been very lucky, really lucky. I think as long as people can see you're trying to turn your life around, you will have the support, and as long as you have the mentality and the hard work to do it, the door's always open.
And does that mean that you become a great advocate of the fact that actually, there are these schemes and opportunities available to offenders?
Definitely. I mean, it is a real privilege to say that having won this award, it's opened a lot of doors in terms of people approaching me and saying, could you come and have a talk? Could you share your story? Of course, I'm here talking to you about it, so, that's an example in itself. If I can use my story as an example and say, don't give up, keep trying, second chances are there to be seized, that's exactly what I will do.
Yeah, and you're now going into prisons, aren't you? And you're demonstrating baking. How do you think that's going to help those inside?
Well, just to be free and to do something therapeutic, I think, is essential. I find it very liberating being in the kitchen baking. You don't feel like a criminal, which I'm sure sounds very odd, but in prison especially, I think it's nice to have some sort of therapeutic outlet. And so even if you're not going to bake on the outside, I do think it's nice to feel some self-worth, and even if you make the most hideous loaf you can imagine, you feel pride. And I think as long as you feel pride, you don't feel like such a bad person no matter what you've done.
Now, you've taken the first step, haven't you, because you've won the Best Female Entrepreneur Award. This now goes to a national vote, does it? And you're looking for votes?
Exactly right. Yes, it's an online voting system. It closes on the 28th of November, and it's whoever gets the most votes out of the Small Business Award winners wins this amazing £10,000 investment for your business. So, of course, I do want people to vote, and I'll be very cheeky and plug it, and it's awards.calyxa.com.
Okay, you from the Greater Manchester area?
I am indeed, yes, local girl.
And so you're looking to put something back into
That's
where
exactly
you grew up?
what the money will go on. Yes, I want to expand our prison workshops on a national level. We've got, Style, Thorncross, that's lovely, in the northwest, but this offender rehabilitation through alternative methods, I think is something that we really need to look into and invest a lot more in, because I know it worked for me, and I think it can and will work for other people.
I was looking for the